Well, the road to the Breeders' Cup Mile runs through Del Mar this Saturday. The Grade 2 Pat O'Brien Stakes, a win and you're in Breeders' Cup race contested over 7 furlongs. To preview the race, I'm Andrew Brown, joined by Scott Shapiro and Shap. As we take a look at the field here, where do you expect the speed to come from in this race?
Good to be back with you, Brownie. And yeah, for a 7 furlong Grade 2 event with the Breeders' Cup spot on the line, I don't see a ton of true early zip in here, but I do think the pace will be contentious. You have, of course, the favorite in here we'll talk about more in depth in a moment in Speaker's Corner. You have Laurel River, who's cutting back to 1 turn, was on the leader right up on it. Pretty quick fractions going 2 turns. And then you have a long shot like Principe Carlo that could be involved early. But I am not crazy about horses that are going to be coming well off of it because I just don't think it's going to be a super hot early pace.
Well, the Bill Mott trainee Speaker's Corner, as you mentioned, leaps off the page. He's been mixing it, of course, with the likes of Life is Good and Flightline at his last 2 starts. A winner of 3 straight graded stakes before running into those 2. Shap, there's no Flightline or Life is Good here, but the son of Street Sense will be having his first West Coast start. Is he the yardstick?
He is certainly the one to beat. As you mentioned, on paper, at the very least, he has run into a couple of very good runners, not only the best in training now, but some of the fastest horses we've seen in some time. So I do believe that the Bill Mott trainee will be very happy to not run into the likes of Life is Good and Flightline in here. But you mentioned it. The question is, how will this one take to the ship cross country, especially without a work over the racetrack? Normally with Del Mar can be a little bit tricky. Not only do you like to see a race, but at the very least, you like to see at least one work over the racetrack. While Speaker's Corner should get the good trip, he's the clear class of the field. It's just a little tough for me to swallow that price, shipping cross country without that work over the track.
Yeah, well, the George Papapadromo American Theorem looks to be the leading hope then of the local brigade. If you're leaning towards the local, Shap, he registered a 104 Brisnet speed rating, winning the Grade 1 Bing Crosby last time out. George, of course, having a golden summer here in the Golden State, Shap. What do you think of American Theorem's chances?
Well, American Theorem in the best form of his career, always a highly regarded son of American Pharoah all the way back to the start of his campaign. And you mentioned George Papapadromo having a great meet now. George certainly has had a good meet from start to finish, and it was headlined by the win by American Theorem in the Bing Grade 1 Bing Crosby. Hasn't won as many races of late, has cooled off a bit. And American Theorem was on the absolute right part of the racetrack on July 30th. We talked about it a couple of editions of our previews back, that the outside was the clear place to be that day on Bing Crosby Day, and he took advantage of it. I'm not going to hold it against him that he was on the right part of the track, but I am going to downgrade him a little bit, especially since there isn't a lot of early speed signed on, and he moves to an inside draw. So I think American Theorem in with a chance, but I do prefer others. And speaking of the other that I do prefer, another locally based horse, it's number 9, Defunded, Brownie. I mean, this is a horse that raced on that same day, the Grade 2 San Diego, and he was on the wrong part of the track. He was inside speed on a day where you could not be involved up front along the rail. So I'm going to forgive his effort going the 2 turns in the San Diego. I like the outside draw on the cutback, and trainer Bob Baffert takes the shades off. Great numbers, blinkers off, 31% over his last 64 starts. Defunded, better than what we saw last time out. Hopefully gets that perfect stalking trip.
So Defunded there for Shap. What about underneath? A couple more local hopes. So I see Laurel River will be up there in the betting. No trainer has won more Pat O'Briens than Bob Baffert with 7. ZZ Rocket, wow, now 8 years old for Peter Miller, who will also saddle Get Her Number. Who are you going to play underneath, Shap?
Well, CZ Rocket, a little bit of a concern here, doesn't get Lasix. He does perform at his best with Lasix. The 8-year-old gelding might not be the same horse he once was, although he did put forth a big effort last time out against Lesser in an allowance event, but got a good trip that day. Laurel River has to prove that he can contend against the best of the best going 1 turn, but boy, has he been good over this racetrack going a mile. It'll be interesting to see the tactics from Juan Hernandez. But for me, it's Defunded as a lone type A with Speaker's Corner as my B.
Well, I note that you've downgraded American Theorem, but I thought his run in the Bing Crosby was pretty outstanding. I think he's on the up, and he's going to be my selection for Saturday's Pat O'Brien. He's already qualified for the Breeders' Cup as well, so we'll see if he can qualify once again. Shap, tell us about the Mar Exacto Insurance, which is available on Saturday.
Yeah, got to make sure you opt into the promotions on the Twin Spires offers page or on the app. Like all of our promotions, you get your money back up to $10 if you have the Exacta, but in the wrong order. So once again, remember to opt into that promotion. And best of luck on another great Saturday afternoon card at Del Mar, headlined by this Pat O'Brien.
And of course, your selections, your first, second, and third selections for every race at Del Mar for the rest of the summer are available on the Twin Spires app or desktop under the Expert Picks section. Shap, once again, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Brownie. Always fun joining you in that great weather you're in.
You've still got 3 weeks to get over here, Shap. I hope you do it. Remember, plane, train, or car, get over here and I've got a spare room for you. Good luck with all your bets on Saturday, and for you watching, good luck for all your bets as well here at Del Mar and across the country with Twin Spires.